We are all busy. Like, we are all doing so many things in our lives, but a lot of us have times where we could have an earbud in our ear or have the radio on in the car, and we can listen to stories. We can listen to research recaps that are coming out from JMMT. We can listen to inspiring conversations. So I think that's the easiest way for people to be able to readily engage in their daily life without having to really set aside a lot of time to figure out how to engage.
Next guest is Dr. Laura Wenger, Fellow of AAOMPT, Assistant Professor at the University of Utah's Hybrid DPT program, part-time clinician in Durango, Colorado. She's also co-chair of AAOMPT's Inclusive Membership and Engagement Committee, helping make the Academy a place where every member feels seen, supported, and connected. You do a lot.
I'm tired.
And your last interview of the day today here at the AAOMPT conference.
I know, and I saved all my energy to chat with you today.
You're the climax of the show.
I guess so.
You're the big deal.
I'm excited.
All right, so you wear a lot of hats. We just mentioned faculty, clinician, AAOMPT leader, high energy person.
Yeah.
What keeps you motivated to stay this involved?
Oh, man, it's the people.
Yeah.
You know, it seriously is. I've been thinking about that since I got here yesterday, that like every person that I see that I've met over the years, and even people that I'm meeting for the first time, like every single conversation I have here, I just leave excited.
You're one of those people.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
Not everybody's those people.
It's true.
So you have to recognize when those people aren't those people, and they'll come in for a hot minute or 10, and then they've got to zip out. It's not that they want to be involved. It's
That's
like,
okay.
hey, man, I don't have this.
Yeah.
But I remember going to conferences with classmates in PT school, and at the end of the day, if I had a tail, it would be wagging, but I had some classmates who'd be like, we need to take it down. Or they'd leave for
Or
like 2
I'm
hours.
going to go disappear and take a nap. And that's okay.
And that's
whatever you got to do to recharge.
But you have to recognize that. And I didn't.
Absolutely.
I was like, what's the matter with this place? You don't like it. And they're like, I'm different than you. And I'm like, oh, got it. Okay. That's good. It's good to know.
Yeah.
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 The Inclusive Membership and Engagement Committee, tackling some big questions.
Yeah.
Right? What are the biggest things you've learned about who AAOMPT members are and what they want, and also maybe why are they here? And then I'll throw another question on top of that. Why aren't some people here that we could get them here? Like, what don't we have, or what haven't we done to bring in some more people?
Yeah, that's the ever evolving question that we're trying to figure out. So who are we? We are all over the place. We're representing all over the country and even internationally, which is really great. We've got some folks coming in even, to this conference from...
Talked to Roger Carey from across the pond.
Yeah, and we've got some members coming. I just met a fellow from China who flew in just for the conference today.
Wow.
And somebody from Egypt. So it's really cool that we get to bring in such an awesome, diverse group of folks coming to the spot and collecting our minds together and our brains together to work. So we represent, physical therapists who obviously they're passionate about manual therapy, passionate about helping their patients get better, passionate about teaching their students about manual therapy to help those patients. Wide variety of members, from student members who are active within their own programs, who are interested in manual therapy as a specialty maybe down the road, all the way up to the founding fellows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everything in between. Members who are in their early career, we've got lots of people going through fellowship or have graduated fellowship. And so our big job as the IMEC is what we call it, just to shorten up the Inclusive Membership and Engagement Committee.
IMEC.
We're just trying to figure out how to meet the needs of all these different folks so that they all feel like they're getting what they need out of their membership.
So how do you do that? Like, this might be an unfair question because that's not, it's simple but not easy. But
no.
So how are you doing it? Maybe a better question.
So right now, I think there's two things that we look at in our committee. We look at assessing to try to figure out what are people finding valuable, what do they love about their membership that they use their membership regularly in their daily lives, in their professional and personal lives, okay? The other side is figuring out what do they want more of.
Where's the whole?
Right. Like, what can we do better as an organization? What can we give them so that instead of just having the benefits of coming to conference, which obviously are great, but what can we do to sustain that benefit throughout the year?
What do you do the other 363 days a year?
Yeah, so we consider how do we make sure that members are connected with our podcasts? How do we make sure that they're connected with the webinars that our different SIGs put out on a regular basis, with all of the educational content that they have access to through the different networks that are involved in AAOMPT. So that's really the big task of our committee, is figuring out where are we at with our members, and then how to better engage them and make sure that they have activities and things they can do to keep it going.
Well, at least there's people like you looking, because if step one, if there was no task force, if there's no IMEC to look, you're definitely not going to find or bring things to the table. So kudos for you.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, and who else is on that? Make sure you give credit.
Yeah, so my co-chair is Loretta Brazel, and she's outgoing right now, but we're going to be bringing on a new co-chair to be determined still at this point. And then we've got 14 AMP members on the committee, a mix of members and fellows that have just been passionate about helping us answer these questions and plan fun things for our members to be involved in throughout the year.
Looking forward to the future. Yeah. AMP's known for being a very tight-knit community. Yeah. I've noticed that the first time I ever came to a meeting 3 years ago. It was very obvious that there were definitely some people who've had some experiences together over a long amount of time.
Yep.
How do you make sure that same sense of belonging extends to students, early professionals, people who are coming into this right now, or maybe underrepresented members? Yeah. What are some things that need to be there from your point of view?
Yeah, so we have a couple programs that we're really intentional about making sure that anybody, regardless of what their membership status is in terms of the type of member that they are, from a student to a member to a founding fellow, we want everybody to feel like this is a place where they belong and where they're included. And so we have the experience program. That's one of the big things that we do at conference every year. It's for first-time attendees.
What is that? Because I saw that on some chairs.
Yeah, so we've got the screen logo, and basically it's a program, it's a way that first-time attendees can come and find people to be with, to navigate conference with, and they have a group built in, even if they came here knowing not one person already outside of the organization. So they can show up, and they already have a group of folks that are kind of in the trenches with them.
Looking out for them.
Yeah, and also there's guides as part of that process. So we have other members who are kind of in charge of that as mentors almost, of like how to be engaged in conference, how to meet people in terms of the networking and making those connections.
Yeah.
So it's a really great way for people to come in right off the bat, and instead of just being like in the back, like where do I go? Who do I talk to? They've got a group to talk to right away.
I'm pretty outgoing, but if you show up and you don't know a thread to pull or a place to slide into, it can be difficult to find your place or a place or any of those things.
Exactly.
So you've got that program that exists.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Yep.
You teach in a hybrid program, practice in a rural area. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
It's needed. How do those experiences shape the way you think about inclusion and accessibility in PT education?
Yeah, that's a great question. Especially with the goal of the hybrid pathway that I'm teaching in, that's the biggest thing, is trying to increase access so that, not only people who need to get up and move to a residential site and upend their lives to go to PT school, we want to make it more accessible to everybody where they're at. And also different types of learners, because that's a big thing that I do, is look at educational research. And all of us learn differently. Some of us learn great as a seat, listening in a lecture, and some of us don't, right? And some of us need to do it on our own time.
Some of us don't.
Yeah. So I think what it is it's about individualizing, when people have certain needs and preferences and really some barriers, right? Where they can't move or they can't change locations. And this goes for, patients as well.
Sure.
That we're there where they need them. So we're meeting them where they're at instead of making them come to us.
Yeah. And technology's got to be a big part of making that a lot easier than it was even just 5 or 10 years ago.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When you think about engagement beyond the conference, what's one thing you wish every AMPT member knew that they could take advantage of? I've heard often, and I'll defend APTA even though I don't work for APTA. A lot of times people will complain, APTA should do this, and then someone will be like, we've actually been doing that for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's just knowledge. So what's one thing that you wish every AMPT member knew that they could take advantage of that you're already doing here that excites you?
Yeah, perfect. I think easy podcasts, listening to podcasts.
Podcast.
Here we are. No, but really it's the sense that we are all busy. Like, we are all doing so many things in our lives, personally, professionally, but a lot of us have times where we could have an earbud in our ear or have the radio on in the car, like have it synced up to our phone, and we can listen to stories. We can listen to research, recaps that are coming out from JMMT, but we're getting some, nice podcasts with those authors and those researchers. We can listen to inspiring conversations, like some of the conversations that are coming out of Hands On, Hands Off, and just about where we are as a profession and where we want to be and how we're going to enact change in the profession. So I think that's the easiest way for people to be able to readily engage in their daily life without having to really set aside a lot of time
Sure.
to figure out how to engage.
I ran radio stations for years.
Yeah.
If you had asked me, hey, we're going to take an hour a week on your radio station, your FM radio station, and we're going to talk about manual therapy, I would have said, I need you out of my office.
Yeah.
But now that you have a podcast, you can do the reverse. Yeah. So this is what I want to highlight is radio is broadcasting. Podcasting is narrowcasting. You literally flip the funnel so you can get as random and niche and into the depths and the nooks and crannies of any little conversation, which wouldn't make sense to 100,000 people. But if it makes sense to 100, we can scale that. This conversation being recorded now is going to reach lots and lots of people, but it might affect one or two on the first listen from joining AOMPT, and they might not have. And is that effort, is that ROI good? Yeah, us having a 15-minute conversation, 2 new members, who knows where those members will go. Yeah. Having that one resource. I mean, obviously you can tell I'm passionate about communications, but that's just my jam.
Yeah, no,
so I agree. Yeah, so the resources. A lot of times it just is taking a look at what is already there.
Yep, and then just making sure that we access it and actually use it because it's already happening.
Correct.
So just tap into it.
Correct. If you could describe the ideal AOMPT membership experience in one sentence, what would it feel like?
The ideal
AOMPT membership experience. It's a very broad, open-ended question.
And what would it feel like?
I mean, I was sort of teeing you up with
okay, I love it.
The word inclusive probably would be.
Got it.
Something like that.
No, I got it. Okay. It would feel like you walk into a room with people who think like you or expand your thinking beyond where you even thought you could go in any possible situation.
I did not think you were going to go that deep when I wrote this question, but that was deep. I liked it.
Yeah. And I know this is more than one sentence.
That's okay.
But maybe it's a conjunction. And like you have made a friend for life in every person that you encounter.
Oh,
we
did episodes last year of people, a woman and a man met. I'll have to go back and look at it. It was a great video. They met. They both of them came independently, so they were both orphans, and then they met, and they were like, now we're BFFs, and they've come every year for like 10 more years, and they're like, I'm your people, you're my people, and we come, and this is our thing. And they lived so far away from each other, at home, but that was their thing.
Yeah, and we don't stay at the surface here. The conversations that are had not only at conference, but outside of conference and committee work and research and the podcasts and any of the other networking opportunities available throughout the year, we go deep and we challenge each other in a really awesome way that only leaves everybody better on the other side of it. Like we all just grow from each other and learn from each other, and that's the best part.
Mic drop. All right, let's do it. Parting shot, we call it. Last thing, mic drop moment, soapbox statement, some quote. What would you want to leave the audience with as we wrap up?
I think the biggest thing is just I love to see how members challenge themselves to grow as individuals, and that can mean so many different things depending on where they're at in their profession, in their life, right? So students coming and submitting a poster and going, out of their comfort zone to just be like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Gutsy.
And I have a poster, and then now they want it to be a platform, and I'm going to make it happen, and I'm going to tap into my faculty to help me. People who are thinking about fellowship, talking to fellows and trying to get a sense of what are the different programs, what do I want to do, and maybe it feels uncomfortable to put themselves out there, but they do that investigation and they figure out what's best for them. And then people who are fellows seeking out mentees, making sure that they're figuring out a way to pay it forward because they had great mentorship. So everybody on all of those different aspects, just getting out of their comfort zone a little bit, talking to somebody new, and making a relationship that's going to be really impactful.
Well, that's what we'll put on the brochure from now on, Laura. Well
Awesome.
Done. Laura, appreciate the time. Thanks for doing this and sharing it. And thanks for your work on the committee and helping to spread that.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks,
appreciate
Jimmy.
it. Yep. Well done.
Thanks for listening to Hands On, Hands Off, the official podcast of AOMPT. Subscribe now so you never miss an episode. And connect with us at aompt.org or at AOMPT on social. Opinions are those of the guests and not official AOMPT policy. See you next time.